Hey guys, welcome back, welcome back. On January 21st, 9:22 a.m. Central Standard Time, the exact conjunction of Mercury Cazimi will be in the sign of Aquarius at 1 degrees 36 arc seconds. We also refer to this as Mercury being at the heart of the sun. But before it gets to this point, once Mercury or any planet gets within 15 to 8 degrees, we call this under the beams of the sun. And the planet here starts to become hidden or not visible. And so it weakens its abilities. And in this case, it's Mercury's abilities or significations. And then when a planet gets past 8 degrees to about 1 degree, it's considered combust. And at this point, the planet is severely debilitated and doesn't really have the ability to perform normally because it's being burnt by being too close to the sun rays, in theory. And once it's at the exact degree or up to 1 degree, it's considered Cazimi or at the heart of the sun. And at this point, it's being supercharged or, you could say powered by the sun. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to give a new kind of analogy. Usually I do it's like being blinded by the sun in different situations. But right now, I'm going to try to do a new analogy where I'll use the Game of Thrones as a reference to explain the transition of the planet's power while it's within 15 degrees of the sun. So sorry for those of you who, for whatever reason, still haven't seen this amazing show, but let's think of King Joffrey. So let me see here. Let's think of King Joffrey. This is King Joffrey from the show. Let's think of King Joffrey as the sun. He behaves pretty much however he wants without zero regard for just about anybody once he becomes the king. Then what I would do is I would think of Littlefinger, this character, as a planet that is just entering under the beams at that 8 to 15 degrees whenever he's around King Joffrey. And this is because clearly he has his own agendas when not around the king. But once he's in the king's presence, he clearly stops behaving in his true manner, and for a lack of better words, starts sucking up, bootlicking, brown nosing, saying whatever he needs to say and doing whatever he needs to do. But he still secretly works towards his own agenda, but it's just hidden and not seen as much. Then I would think of Sansa Stark as combust or a combustion. This is because she is pretty much Joffrey's fiance or soon to be wife and queen. I would think of her relationship with King Joffrey as combust because she has to live in the same castle with the king for a period, and during this time she's close to him, really close to him, and he has close contact with her. But she's being completely tormented, humiliated, harassed, all types of things by the king. And basically she had virtually no say and kind of became a shell of herself during that period, having no power or real autonomy. Though she's the soon to be bride of the king, it's kind of weird. Like she's so close to him and supposed to be his wife someday, but even though she's that close, like she it's just it's a horrible situation for her. Then I would think of the king's mother, Cersei's, as I would think of her as the one. She's probably the closest to the king in the show, and I would think of her as the Cazimi, as the Mercury Cazimi in this case, and she through her son being the king had become even more powerful than before. You know, she had a level of power through just through her father, but when her son, who's now the king, the son, through being with him and being next to him, she gets like way more power similar to the king and used it at her own discretion while also being under the king's grace and able to influence many of his decisions as well. So when I look at, a Mercury Cazimi and just any planet really, as it gets closer to the sun, I think of it kind of like these characters can kind of show like the transition and the ways the planets will act in a way. Um, but so those of you who've watched the show, hopefully that has made sense of a planet's characteristics as it becomes closer to the sun. And those of you who haven't watched the Game of Thrones, I'm sure you could ask Chat GPT. It can help you catch up. But so I digress here. I digress. Uh, so where was I at? So the Mercury Cazimi, the energy starts once the sun and Mercury are exactly within 1 degree of each other. January 19th, January 19th at 8:47 p.m. was that point where it was within a degree, like exactly 1 degree separated. And once they were, once it gets, and once it gets past a degree, so once Mercury goes past the sun and it gets within a degree apart, more than a degree apart, that's when it ends. And so that'll be around Friday morning. This particular Cazimi started with the sun in Aquarius at 0 to 2 degrees arc seconds. Let me see if I could pull that up. So if you look now, I'm putting it back on to the 19th at 8 what time was it? 8:47. So at 8:47, as you can see, Mercury is in Capricorn and the sun is in Aquarius, but they're a degree apart. So this particular Cazimi started with the sun in Aquarius at 0 degrees, and then Mercury in Capricorn at 29 degrees before they eventually, become exact in Aquarius later on the 21st. So the Capricorn house also will have a say in the ideas and insights being brought at this time. At the start, Mercury being, in structured and goal-oriented Capricorn, and around the same degree as the new moon, because the new moon was at 28 degrees on the 18th. The new moon on the 18th, the day before, it was at 28 degrees. So I think it's some idea, insight, information, or communication around the topic of the new moon that's going to be delivered to us. And it may have started coming around, the 19th, the 20th, instead of actually directly on the 21st. But it's very likely that on the 21st, when it goes exact, is when you get that real aha moment. When it actually reaches the heart of the sun in Aquarius. So I'll go back. So on the 21st, And like I said, in the morning, it's Central Standard Time at about 9:22. That's when they're look like it's actually 23. Maybe it's 23 minutes or 23 a.m. 9:23 a.m. Is when it actually goes exact. But at that moment, when it goes exact, Mercury gets even more supercharged, renewed, illuminated, and clear-headed. You could think of a moment of like brilliant clarity and insights. Like a true aha moment, or things being revealed to you. You might suddenly understand something that was confusing before. Great ideas can come, messages or decisions can land with, like an unusual kind of sharpness to it. It's a potent time for journaling, brainstorming, setting intentions, like I said, communication, learning, or receiving intuitive downloads. And, as a reminder, this is an event that happens every year. Due to the speed of Mercury being faster than the sun, it can occur whether Mercury is direct going forward, or even when Mercury sometimes is retrograde and appearing to go backwards. So this is a yearly thing where Mercury reaches a Cazimi with the sun. Also, once it's exact in Aquarius on the 21st, it is gonna be in a sign traditionally ruled by Saturn. Aquarius is traditionally ruled by Saturn, and Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn. Um, but Aquarius is also considered ruled by Uranus, who's in Taurus. Uranus by modern astrologers. Modern astrologers would say that Aquarius is actually ruled by Uranus. Um, I personally prefer to say Saturn is the ruler, the main ruler, while Uranus is strongly associated as like a co-ruler. Maybe you could think of Saturn like the president, and Uranus as the vice president. Think of Saturn, as the structural kind of ruler of Aquarius, providing the framework, discipline, long-term vision for collective or innovative ideals, while Uranus kind of acts as this electric spark, a revolutionary kind of breakthrough, sudden awakening that it can animate and sometimes even can disrupt the structures, just to end up building its own unique structures or custom made box to fit itself into. Because, like, with Aquarius, it doesn't want to be put in a box or be forced to be put in a box by other people or, other powers. Aquarius, so what'll happen is sometimes, naturally people try to put people in boxes, but somebody with like a lot of Aquarius energy will probably reject those boxes that you try to put them into, and then they'll go their own way, and then they'll create their own box that they'll put themselves into, and kind of stick in their own little box. I've noticed that. Um, with Saturn being in Pisces right now, it may be asking us to stay disciplined in our ability to go with the flow, and for us to be accepting in the matters going on in our Aquarius house. Also, Neptune is co-ruler of Pisces, with Jupiter being the traditional ruler. Um, but Pisces happens to be 2 degrees away from Saturn at this point, so Pisces is at 20, or sorry, Neptune happens to be 2 degrees away from Saturn at this point, at 29 degrees, and Saturn's at 27 degrees. So their energies are a little blended, and the need to kind of stay positive, open-minded, flexible to how you handle whatever is coming up during this time seems to be the common theme. And you also got at the same time Uranus and Taurus, a sign that doesn't like change and prefers stability and the ability to kind of persist in the things that bring comfort and pleasure to the senses. Due to it naturally being ruled by Venus, Taurus is. With Uranus here, it wants to shake something up, or, you know, or give something unexpected or sudden with these Tauran, Venusian qualities. Depending where Taurus falls in your chart, we could have a better understanding of what this specifically may be. Something else to take note of is that Venus was conjunct Pluto at exactly 3 degrees on the 19th. Same time as Sun and Mercury coming within that 1 degree of each other. So I think Venus and Pluto have a strong presence in whatever is happening during this time. I'd also like to mention there's a mutual reception between Venus and Uranus. If you see, you got Uranus in Taurus, which is a Venus ruled sign, and you got Venus in Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. So where this is where two planets are visiting each other's sign, and they can kind of help each other out, even though they're not in their uh, typical home sign. So let me see here. Looking at my notes. So overall, I'd say whatever kind of transformative, intense, or obsessively unique, innovative, or group-based thing you find capturing your interests or desires, which is that Venus, Pluto, and Aquarius type energy. At this time, it could have been sparking some sudden, pleasant insight, with that Uranus and Taurus energy. But I think this Cazimi is likely to give us a real like light bulb moment, potentially sparking a breakthrough in communication, networking, or some type of intellectual pursuit. You might experience vivid insights, clear messages, or like a pivotal conversations that may feel more energizing while yet pleasant or extremely desirable. You know, Pluto and Venus brings that. Pluto brings that intensity to Venus matters, which Venus matters are like love, interests, relationships, things you desire. So Pluto brings a bit of an intensity in those types of matters, maybe even obsession at times. Um, I think this time will be ideal for brainstorming kind of radical ideas, with it being in Aquarius, or connecting with like-minded people, since Aquarius is a humanitarian sign, especially online or in groups. Aquarius can feel detached or erratic at times, so some may want to capture some of if you get flashes of ideas, you might want to write write this stuff down, journaling or discussing them as soon as they come to you. Mercury right now is getting, that solar kind of boost to think outside the box and envision whatever is next for you. So I think at this point, I'll take a look at the rising signs and the house where Aquarius falls in each sign's chart, and show where the Cazimi's mental clarity and innovative spark is likely to show up. But first, I'll mention that I'm a traditional astrologer, so I use the whole sign houses as opposed to Placidus or others. Therefore, as I speak, if Aquarius is in a different house than you're used to, it's probably that you're using a different house system than I am. But due to astrology being a divinatory practice, that's not, that's not all 100% scientifically proven yet. Similar to tarot, I would argue it has quantum like characteristics where, through observation, people still get accurate or resonating information in the moment, you know? Because, like, I don't know if you've ever had a tarot reading or even just kind of watch it on YouTube. It's weird how they just flip, you could just flip over cards and they tap into what they're seeing and what they feel like the message is. But it can really resonate with you, even though there's no real science that can explain it at the moment, other than I think like quantum physics and just like quantum. I forget what do you call it, but I think it has to deal with that, like they're related. But yeah, even through different methods or getting like an accidental inaccurate birth time, like a lot of times the message that is delivered in that moment still seems to be for that person. So it's very strange and interesting how this can work. But now I'll go over each sign real quick and see how this Cazimi is going to show up. So let's see. Let's start with Aries rising. For Aries rising, you had the new moon in the 10th house. The 10th house deals with career, reputation, goals, authority. And then the Mercury Cazimi is happening in the 11th house in Aquarius, which deals with networks. This house deals with networks, friendships, dreams, social media. So what I'm thinking is during the new moon, you probably wanted to start something around career, reputation, goals. And then now you're starting to get insight and you probably started it in order to help you in some way with networks, friendships, or like big ideals and big dreams. And now during this Cazimi, I could expect that you'll get some type of insight on around the 19th to the 21st, with Uranus in your second house in Taurus, possibly either you want groups or networks, like you're doing this for resources or income or your personal self-value, because that's what the second house deals with. Or it may take income, some money, or you valuing yourself, being confident in order to make things happen here. I think with Saturn in your 12th house in Pisces, it's in the house of isolation, mental health, rest, hidden enemies. Also, Saturn, traditionally was the ruler of the 12th house, which was known as the bad spirit house. So Saturn is familiar with this area through Pisces. And I think what Saturn is wanting you to do is kind of just relax, let things happen. Don't be okay for now with letting things just kind of happen, even if they're not seeming like they're moving forward. Just kind of rest, take it easy, and just let things kind of unfold naturally. I think that's what you're being asked to do right now, Aries. So good luck. I hope you get some clarity during this Cazimi, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. All right, so now I want to do Taurus and Taurus risings. So with the Taurus, the new moon on the 18th was in your 9th house. It was in the 9th house in Capricorn. You started something, you started thinking about something, planning something, probably revolving around 9th house topics, which are like spirituality, distant travel, foreign lands, people, foreign people, education, religion. So you might have started something that was for 10th house. Like the 10th house deals with career, reputation, goals. It could be authority, status. So some might have started some type of education, like schooling, in order to maybe have a career, a certain type of career. Others may have went overseas or been thinking about going overseas, should I say, in order to for a career or for to change your status, just to change how you show up in the world. And some may have started to take on certain philosophies or beliefs in order to show up in a way that they want to in the world. That's what's going on or in the process. I don't think it's been completed. It's just that seems to be what's going on. And with Uranus in Taurus in your first house, the first house deals with self, new beginnings, appearance, life approach. I'm assuming that, yeah, it seems like you're wanting like to show up differently in life. You're wanting to like a new change, a new me type of thing. You also have Saturn and Pisces in your 11th house of networks, friendships, dreams, and social media. So with Saturn here, I think it's saying kind of focus on the big dreams you have and maybe your networks and just kind of trust in that, and then it'll help you get to where you're trying to go. That's what I'm seeing for you guys. Yeah. So good luck with that. I hope you get some insight during this time, during this Cazimi, and I'll see you in the next video. So next, Gemini and Gemini risings. You had the new moon in your eighth house, the eighth house of intimacy, debts, mystery, transformation, death, shared resources. So, and this was in Capricorn. So, you probably started something that, and started thinking and planning something for for the hopes of what's going on in the ninth house. The ninth house deals with spirituality, distant travel, foreign land, foreign people, education, religion. So maybe you started something in this eighth house on during that new moon on the 18th for the purpose of possibly achieving something or getting something done in your ninth house. So what I'm seeing is maybe something around debt or taxes, even, whether that's paying those off or something, so that way you can, some of you, so that way you can travel. Others maybe becoming, maybe you're wanting to transform, like kind of transform your life. So, and you're being open to that, getting over fears, because the eighth house deals with fears too, and then in order to be able to travel or experience different things in life, broaden your horizon, because that's what the ninth house is about, kind of wisdom and exploring, whether it be mentally or physically. With Uranus in your, let's see, it's in your 12th house. 12th house deals with isolation, mental health, rest, hidden enemies. There could be it could have some influence in this Cazimi, and maybe there, yeah, look, like maybe some of you are going away as far as like on some type of trip or some type of going away to a foreign place, traveling somewhere to kind of get away explore, maybe self-exploration of some sort. With Saturn in the 10th house of Pisces, 10th house deals with career, reputation, goals, authority, status, public image. Maybe focusing on your how you want to show up in the world, how you want to be seen, like focusing on that, those goals, how you want to be seen, will help you during this time, and just kind of keep that in mind. And I'm thinking that that's going to help you in achieving what it is that you're trying to achieve during this time, and whatever insight you're trying to get during this period. And then yeah, you might get insight from that Cazimi on like what to do as well. All right, Gemini. So next, Cancer and Cancer risings. You had the new moon in your 7th house of relationships, friendships, partnerships, contracts. So what I'm seeing for you guys is, you had that new moon there. You might have started something like a relationship or connection, even signed a contract that in order to do these 8th house things. So maybe to be able to become more intimate with somebody or someone, to be able to combine resources together in order to better get through a time, or I don't know, to level up through working together in a way. So sharing resources of some way, somehow, some I'm just looking at the astrology. Or maybe you started some type of connection or relationship in order to kind of get over a fear or kind of transform your life. With Uranus in the 11th house of friendships and dreams, yeah, I'm thinking the relationship might have been started to because like the new moon was trining this Uranus. I'm in Taurus. I'm thinking, yeah, it was started maybe with the hopes of being a part of some community, friendship, some group, or in order just to achieve some type of dream of yours. And with Saturn and Pisces in the 9th house, you're probably gonna look to Saturn, to who's the ruler of that new moon, who's the ruler of this Mercury Cazimi, to kind of understand how to go about things if things aren't working out. And like I said earlier, Pisces is a sign about going with the flow. So maybe going with the flow of things when it comes to 9th house topics, which are spirituality, distant traveling, adventure, foreign lands, people, foreign people, education, religion. Um, Maybe it's asking you to be open-minded and explore, and just trust in that. With Neptune there as well. Just trust in that, and that will help guide you during this period. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing for Cancer and Cancer risings. If you're a Leo or Leo rising, what I'm seeing is you had that new moon in your 6th house. The 6th house deals with health, service, labor or work, like that kind of daily work, daily routines. So you had the new moon here, so you probably started some type of either habit or work, or something started with in regards to health. It could even be fitness, in the hopes of a relationship. So what I'm kind of seeing is maybe some of you probably started working out more, like in order to get in a relationship. Others may have started certain habits in order to connecting and have a certain type of relationship. Uh, yeah, and with Uranus in your 10th house in Taurus, um, I think that yeah, maybe some of you are working towards a new career, like some type of career, surprise career, some career goal. Maybe something in your career suddenly happened recently or will suddenly happen during this Cazimi. And with Saturn in the 8th house of Pisces, I'm thinking that it's because I think with it being the main ruler, the traditional ruler, it's asking you to kind of go with the flow and maybe even work together with someone who offers value to you. It could also be building a stronger connection with somebody. Seems to be a way, like the way to go. If that resonates with you, yeah, it seems like that's the way to go. Possibly, if you have like taxes, like some type of debt or taxes, or something along the lines where money is owed. Uh, with it being Pisces and Saturn's there and Neptune's there as well, like I think it's okay to just kind of trust the process. I think Saturn does want you to kind of get that handle, but with Neptune there as well, like I think, and it's in Pisces, kind of going with the flow is okay for now. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope that made sense. I'm just looking at the astrology, y'all. I'm just looking at the astrology, at the chart. All right. So, if you're a Virgo or Virgo rising, this is you had the new moon in your 5th house. The 5th house dealt with fun, creativity, projects, children, love affairs. So maybe you started something involving one of those things, and in the hopes for to have maybe a better, healthier lifestyle, or building like some type of routine. If you're doing like some type of creative project, trying to create a routine around that. If you have children, something like if children's been uh a very, how do I say, relevant topic in the past month. Maybe some type of routine or around children or the health of a child or children. And it seems like, yeah, these things that are like 6th house matters, with where Aquarius is health, service, daily routines, even work, are gonna be becoming more and more prevalent in the next few weeks. In these next few weeks. So with Uranus in your 9th house of spirituality, foreign lands, foreign people, religion, education, it's a co-ruler of Aquarius right now. And so it might be saying that, yeah, open your mind, if you can. And it seems like it's the move to do. Maybe even you want to travel or go somewhere far, whether that's within the country, state, city that you live in, like, but go probably more than the city, or go to some foreign land, or it seems like that could be something happening for some of you Virgo risings. But also Saturn's a ruler of Aquarius as well, the traditional ruler, and it's in the 7th house of relationships in Pisces. And I think it may be telling you, like, if there's some type of relationship that you're involved in, maybe to kind of go with the flow in that, and trust in that relationship or connection, whether that's romantic, platonic business relationship. Kind of go with the flow, trust in that, and it'll kind of take care of things. Yeah, hopefully that resonates. Um, Next, Libra. If you're a Libra or Libra rising, you had the new moon in your fourth house. The fourth house deals with the home, family, your private life. And you probably started something around here with the hopes of um, getting more into this fifth house where Aquarius is, of fun, creativity, uh, projects, children, love affairs, these types of topics. With some, maybe there was some type of hope or desire for these types of topics, and you started something, maybe in your home, family, private life. And I think with with Uranus in Taurus in the eighth house, it may be saying something in regards to maybe you want more intimacy, closeness. You want somebody maybe to share how they really feel about something, or just be more open. Uh, you also have Saturn in your sixth house of health, service, work, daily routines. So maybe with Saturn here, who's the traditional ruler of Aquarius, he may be asking, and the ruler of Capricorn, he may be asking you to kind of trust the process, stick to your routines, go with the flow, because it's Pisces. And maybe even if you have some type of work, maybe right now it's okay to just continue focusing on work, and then things will kind of play itself out and reveal itself to you. Yeah, and don't worry too much. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for Libra. If you're a Scorpio or Scorpio rising, you had the new moon in your third house of communication, siblings, relatives, technical skills, or the mind and your kind of approach in life. Um, you probably started something around that time for the hopes of the fourth house, which deals with home, family, private life, real estate. Um, what I'm seeing here is maybe it could be a lot of different things. It could be, because it could be people moving into your house recently, like people coming to stay with you, or just for short term or long term. Um, it could be communications about family or the home. Um, with Uranus in Taurus in the seventh house, maybe there was some surprise relationship or connection that was tied to um, all this activity that's starting to happen in your fourth house. And I think with Saturn in your fifth house of fun, creativity, children, creative projects, love affairs, for some of you, I could see maybe things getting serious. Maybe some of you are like thinking about children or having a children, maybe starting a family. Um, and then others, maybe you're talking with um, maybe potential partners, love interests, and possibly even talking about moving in together and such things like that. I think with Saturn in the fifth house, it's saying to kind of go with the flow and because it's in Pisces, go with the flow and just kind of enjoy things. And it's the fifth house, maybe not take things too seriously, even though it is Saturn. But maybe not take things too serious, enjoy things, And yeah, that's what I'm seeing for Scorpios and Scorpio rising. If you're a Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, this new moon that we just had on the 18th was in your second house of income, resources, and self-worth, self-value. So maybe something here you kind of started planning around resources, income. Maybe you want to make more money, be more self-confident. And with in the third house, you got, that's where Aquarius and this Cazimi is. Third house deals with communications, siblings, relatives, the mind, basic education, technical skills. So maybe some of you, in order to make more money, you're developing new skills. Maybe for some of you, there's something going on with money and either siblings or relatives, and that's going to be happening for the next few weeks. With Uranus and Taurus in the sixth house, seems like, yeah, maybe quite a bit of you are working, maybe coming across some type of sudden, unexpected work opportunities, in order to make some money. Others, maybe some type of unexpected health thing is costing you money. Because the sixth house deals with health, work, routines, daily habits. Some of you may need to fix your daily habits and routines in order to get the money that you're desiring, to get the things that you're valuing, the types of possessions. The second house deals with possessions as well, that you would like to have, the things you would like. With Saturn in the fourth house in Pisces, who's also a ruler of Aquarius and the ruler of Capricorn, I think it's gonna ask you to um, go with the flow, and because it's in Pisces, but also, if some of you are working towards the house, like, kind of, yeah, be patient, and keep going with doing what you're doing, and just trust the process. Others, maybe, like I said, with the siblings and relative thing, maybe family is asking things of you, and just kind of, for, probably the next few weeks to maybe the next month, so next 2 to 4 weeks, just kind of go with the flow, trust the process, trust that things will work itself out. If you're having some kind of like issues with whether it be siblings or relatives currently, that's affecting your money or something. Yeah, interesting. Good luck with that, Sagittarius. If you're a Capricorn or a Capricorn rising, this is happening, or the new moon happened in your first house. The first house dealing with self, new beginnings, appearance, um, your life approach, how you approach life. And there was a start here, like something you've been planning on the 18th, since at least around the 18th. Some type of new start, something you're planning, thinking about, for the hopes of the second house, more than likely, which the second house deals with resources, income, self-value. So maybe you're changing things about the self, or starting things, regarding the self. Maybe your appearance, starting to do a new style of dress, um, kind of show up a little differently in the world, in order to come across more income or better situations to get the resources you would like. With Uranus and Taurus in the fifth house deals with fun, joy, children, creativity, love affairs. Possibly for some of you, this could be related to. I'm trying to think. This could be related to some of you trying to put yourself out there for love and romance and trying to get somebody. I get it. I dig it. Get somebody, and it looks positive. It looks for positive, and then also for others, I could see this as a time where you are trying to do like trying out some new creative project or working on a creative project in order to get your income up or get new income opportunities. And then for others, it may be in order to have like fun with your children, to enjoy time with your children. You're trying to change your income situation. Um, with Saturn in the third house, Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius and Capricorn. I'm thinking, I'm thinking that it wants you to go with the flow of communication, and possibly making sure that you communicate what it is that you want, and then also if there's something going on with siblings or whatever, just kind of trust in the process that things will work itself out and things will be fine. Yeah. Good luck, Capricorns. If you're an Aquarius or Aquarius rising, you had the new moon in your 12th house. 12th house deals with isolation, mental health, rest, hidden enemies. Hopefully you don't have hidden enemies, but it does deal with that. Um, so I think you started something maybe behind the scenes in isolation, maybe while you were on vacation, in order to show up differently in the world. Because I think whatever you started was for the purpose of the Aquarius house, which is your first house, which deals with the self, the new beginnings, appearance, life approach. So looks like you really want to start something new, and more than likely, with you, like how you show up, you want to be like brand new in a sense, like a brand new you, a glow up, if you will. Um, I think that with Uranus in the fourth house of Taurus, maybe the home or family could be involved. It could be a private thing, surprising thing, a sudden thing that happened with family that sparked the new what happened during the new moon on the 18th, of wanting to kind of put yourself out there in a different way. Um, Also, Uranus rules this. Mercury Cazimi is a co-ruler, so it's possible that you get some type of insight that around the home or family, maybe a family member gives you some type of insight that helps you out about how you can show up differently in the world. And with Saturn being the traditional ruler of Aquarius, Saturn's in the second house. So maybe this new approach is going to make you money, just or income, or help you get the things you want. If you want some type like more resources, or if you want like kind of internal things like more self-esteem, self-confidence, just kind of go with the flow is what I think Saturn wants, and things will kind of work itself out because you also got Neptune there as well. And yeah, I think that'll work out for you guys who are Aquariuses. All right, if you are, last but not least, a Pisces or Pisces rising, I you had the new moon in your 11th house. 11th house deals with networks, friendships, dreams, social media. I think it even deals with like if you're a sports fan, the sports teams you associate with. Um, then I believe that you started something maybe in the hopes of either being a part of some type of community or group, or you had some type of dream, goal, long term goal, idea. You started something in regards to that, and it's going to lead to this 12th house of Aquarius, which is isolation, mental health, rest, um, I think vacations. So maybe you're probably taking time off, taking some time, a lot of you, maybe resting in order to, achieve some dreams or think about how to achieve some dreams. Or maybe some of you started to want to be associated with a certain group in order to be able to rest more. With Uranus in the third house of Taurus, maybe there's some surprise communication that has happened that led to the start or the feeling like you can achieve some type of dream or goal. It also may be that you get some type of surprise communication during this Cazimi period that sparks what what you feel like you need to do. And this surprise communication could be like a text or anything, just something being communicated to you on what you need to do in order to rest or in order to, because like it also 12th house also deals with mental health. So in order to kind of put yourself in a state of mind where you feel healthier and you feel more at peace. So yeah, I hope this resonated with a lot of you guys who are Pisces and Pisces risings. Um, I appreciate you for making it this far, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.